Hello and welcome to the African Storyteller podcast. Our podcast was launched in November of 2024 as a platform that is dedicated to profiling Africa's eminent leaders and companies that are already actively contributing to rewriting the continent's narrative and positioning it for growth. We believe that highlighting Africa's journey towards growth and prosperity is crucial for reshaping its narrative and promoting the continent as a prime investment destination of choice. Since we started the podcast, we've had the privilege of hosting leaders from various key sectors of the economy, including real estate, artificial intelligence, youth entrepreneurship, philanthropy, women entrepreneurs, art, advertising, and financial services. Some of our featured guests have included Peter van Binsbergen, who's the Group CEO of BMW South Africa, Lou Giffen, who's the founder of Lou Giffen Sotheby's Realty, Tebe Ikalafeng, founder of Brand Africa, Yvonne Chakachaka, who's the UN Goodwill Ambassador, and Mr. Peter Wundler, who is the founder of the very first Black advertising agency in South Africa, Had Boys. Today, we are honored to host Honourable Martha Karua, Senior Counsel, a presidential candidate for the upcoming 2027 national elections in Kenya, a legal luminary, a former magistrate, pro-democracy advocate, long-serving member of parliament, a former minister of justice and constitutional affairs in Kenya, and one of Kenya's most recognizable voices on integrity, constitutionalism, and the rule of law. Her public life has stretched from the courtroom to parliament, to cabinet, to the national democratic struggle, and more recently captured in her memoir, which is actually entitled Against the Tide, My Journey on a Less Trodden Path. In this conversation, we will explore her early childhood and family influences, what has made her believe in herself, whether she saw leadership in herself from a young age, how her parents shaped her values, her decision to pursue law, and how the journey has led her to champion the downtrodden and defend the rule of law. We will also walk through the defining milestones of her life as reflected in the book, From Kirinyanga to the Judiciary, from luminary legal activism to politics, from public office to legacy. Honourable Martha Karua, SC, welcome. It is so lovely to have you on the African Storyteller podcast.
Thank you for having me, and what you do is impressive.
Thank you. I'd love us to begin before the titles, before the courtroom, before the politics, with the child, the daughter, the young girl growing up in Kirinyanga. Early childhood family and self-belief. So Martha's story begins in Kirinyanga. Biographical accounts show that she moved from several schools before eventually pursuing law, and memoir coverage recalls her as a disciplined student and even a prefect. She has also spoken warmly about the patience and support of her family, especially her father and teachers. So, when you think back to your childhood in Kirinyanga, what do you remember most vividly about the home you grew up in?
I think the warmth of the home. I grew up in a typical African setting in rural Kirinyaga, surrounded not just by my parents and siblings, but also my paternal grandmother, and in the beginning, one of my aunties before she got married. So I remember the warmth of the home, people coming, visiting, especially relatives. I remember growing up trying to do what the adults were doing. If it is looking for grass for the cows, I would also try to do the same.
Nice.
If it is cooking, I'll try to mirror my mother and also try to cook. You know, as soon as I was big enough, from age 8, 9 there, I would try to do the things, the chores my mother is doing around the house. Even sometimes what neighbors are doing, because there's a lady, a neighbor, who would pass through my homestead. There was a path, and she would go to look for fodder for her cows. And I would follow her with a panga and, you know, something to tie the few...
the cows?
No. The fodder that I'll find
Oh, nice.
to carry,
Yes.
you know.
Oh, wow.
So I grew up in a working environment. In rural areas, children help with the household chores.
Absolutely.
They help in the farm. So I grew with the discipline of work. And whenever you did well, you worked well, you'd be congratulated.
Nice.
And that was all that I needed.
Oh,
Praise
wow.
from my parents and from the adults.
Oh, wow.
So I think that my early childhood gave me the foundation for whom I am today. Even when I got my first job as a magistrate, I didn't know how to sit idle. I would finish the work allocated and I would call the registry to ask if there's something else I can do for the day.
Oh, wow.
Word went round and my colleagues used to call to ask if I could take an extra case for them, which I would. So that work ethic learned at an early age. The values I learned as a small girl growing, helping your seniors, the fact that you must respect others and their property,
Absolutely.
and especially elders, all those things, the value of community. Those were the days that if you are walking from the market and you find an older person struggling to carry something, you are required to offer to help.
Absolutely.
That's when a neighbor, if they found a child misbehaving on the road, they'll not say, this is not my child, I'll wait to tell the parents. They'll correct them and ask them to accompany them to their home. You know, we took care of each other.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that's the sort of background I grew up in. My father, my mother, they all encouraged me. And my father was teaching. In the evening, he would bring storybooks. We would read together. And
wow, so the sense of community, the sense of service, the sense of being your brother, your sister's keeper, basically started at a very young age.
And being appreciated as a child when you participate in what is happening. All those things.
They contributed.
To give me confidence.
Oh, wow. So, did you actually see signs of leadership in yourself when you were young? Or is it that something other people recognized in you first?
I don't think any child would be thinking about leadership.
Absolutely.
Or see signs of leadership in yourself. It is not something that would even occur. So I just went about my life like any other child. Playing, making my own toys and playing.
Nice.
Having friends, you know, school friends, neighborhood friends, friends within the family. Just doing the normal things children did.
What influence did your mother have on your sense of discipline, dignity, and resilience? And what influence did your father have on your worldview, your ambition, and your sense of justice?
I think both my parents and my paternal grandmother had tremendous influence on me as I grew up. I've already told you I used to mirror what I saw my mother doing around the house.
Yes.
And obviously, as a child, you watch what your parents are doing. My father, you know, the authority he had around the home and around the neighborhood. My grandmother, the stories she told me, she was a storyteller, not on a podcast.
I love that.
All our grandmothers.
We are all influenced by those storytelling.
Storytelling.
Absolutely.
And evenings would be spent around the fire, listening to stories.
Absolutely.
Something I tried to do with my children as I brought them up.
Oh, wow.
And I do with my grandchildren when I have time.
Nice.
So my first role models was the three I have mentioned.
Wow.
My parents and my paternal grandmother, whom we lived with in the same compound.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's actually quite powerful.
Yeah.
So when you look back now, you know, what are some of the values from your childhood that you've actually carried with you to today?
I think the value of integrity, which I would call at that stage honesty, hard work, community, empathy. Because my mother, like most other rural households, had an open door policy. Anybody passing by would not leave without a meal.
Oh, wow.
And even if you come unannounced, what was cooked for the family will be shared. If somebody in the neighborhood lacked something, people used to supply each other, like old people living alone without help. They'll check on them. If they don't have enough food, you will find women in the neighborhood, and my mom was no exception, sending food to them. Sometimes sending us to fetch water for them. So you learn the value of empathy. And we would be severely punished if you're not truthful about any question you're asked, you'd be punished.
Oh, wow.
So you learn the value of honesty.
Interesting.
The value of respecting other people's property. I remember one time I was going to the shopping center with my grandmother, the paternal grandmother, and we met people dancing, holding leaves, green leaves and twigs. And I asked her what was happening, and she told me that they were escorting someone who had been caught stealing. And I asked her what they would do to the person. And they said probably they are going to roll him down the cliff. And I still remember to this day what the song was going like. It's like a thief, and any person who poisons others, they have no owner, meaning the community, your family and the community have disowned you, you know? And I remember that song like it was yesterday.
That's very profound. Do you actually remember how it went?
Yeah, so we didn't follow them, so I didn't see what they did. But you remember that stealing other people's things cannot be tolerated whatsoever. So you are learning from your family, but you're also learning from the community around you.
Yes. And the lessons from the community are actually just as important because you are a child of the community. When you actually go out there, you don't just represent your family, but you also represent your community. So you can imagine if you actually do wrong in a different area, they would actually say it's a child from that other area.
That girl from
Kiriyungi.
Katande, from Kimunye, they will be talking about it.
Absolutely. Wow. There's often a moment in a person's life when a calling begins to take shape. For some people, it's dramatic. For others, it is quiet. In your case, there's a story about accompanying your father to court and being struck by what that world represented. The decision to pursue law. In your memoir, you recall accompanying your father, to court in Gelgoya and becoming fascinated by the courtroom, especially the authority and seriousness of the sitting. You later enrolled as a law student at the University of Nairobi, and this was in 1977. You graduated in 1980 and obtained a postgraduate diploma in legal practice in 1981. Take us back to that moment. What was it about the courtroom that stayed with you? At that age, what did law mean to you? Did you see law first as a path to status, to service, or to justice? And when you entered University of Nairobi to study law, what kind of lawyer did you imagine yourself becoming?
At the point I accompanied my father to court, I'm less than 10 years. I'm about maybe 8, 9. And I think what impressed me was the attention. Everybody in the courtroom seemed to give the magistrate. Everything revolved around him. And that impressed me as a young child. So by then, no notion of justice. It's just that you've gone in a room and your attention has been drawn to the person who seems to command the attention of everybody
the respect
in the room and respect. Later on, And I grew up saying I want to be a lawyer. Later on, I'm at the university. I'm being schooled about justice and notions of justice. And there also, I get to know about social justice. And I feel attracted to ideals of social justice. So I'm still pursuing my dream to be a magistrate. That time, I now know that the designation is magistrate, but from the young age, everybody referred to the local magistrate as a judge.
Oh, wow.
So I used to say, I want to be a judge.
Yes.
And my dad was like, I have no objection. You just have to study very hard.
I love that.
And I kept, I kept the faith that I'll one day become.
Judge
and
Martha.
Even in school, I was working hard to get the grades
results,
to go to A-levels and thereafter to university to become a judge.
Oh, wow.
So I now know it's a magistrate, and I know that I'll be able to stand for social justice and to deliver justice to everybody.
Oh, wow. That's actually quite profound.
Yeah.
So in your head, you could actually see, that title, Judge Martha. So what were the most formative lessons from your years in legal training, and at what point did you actually connect the study of law with the duty to protect people who had less power?
I think I've already said that during university, during debates out there with fellow students, not necessarily lawyers, especially students from the arts, from Bachelor of Arts, who were dealing with Marxism, Leninism, and all that, political science generally. We'd get to know things and to discuss socialism and all those things. So I already had formed my mind that the weak required protection and that the state had a duty to make sure everybody was
protected.
There was inclusivity even in the economic mainstream and in all spheres of life. So when I become a magistrate and people are brought before me for the offense of brewing traditional liquor, an offense that was created by the colonizer to deny the African something that they could and take during leisure. Yet those who have money can go to social places and buy drinks of their choice, alcoholic drinks of their choice. But the African is not allowed to brew their own drink.
Wow.
So I was against the oppression continuing past the colonial time. But because the law was in statute books, and petty offenders would be brought to me for brewing liquor, I would give them very light sentences. Like working to clean around the court.
Love that.
And to leave and go back to their homes at the end of the day. Most of them would be women who are telling you in mitigation that they left children in the home, they are single, single-person-headed households. So you look at that and you know that justice will not be served by putting them in.
Absolutely.
So I now see that as you apply the law, your worldview does matter.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And I got into trouble with it because my senior was of the view that the sentences are too light.
Wow.
So his worldview was that these people need to be punished.
And how did you navigate that?
We had an open clash. And eventually I left the station.
Oh, wow.
I was trying to apply for a transfer to return to Nairobi because my first station was Nakuru. And I wanted to return to Nairobi. I was not getting a transfer. But when now the clash occurred on how to treat liquor offenders, traditional liquor offenders, he put in a good word that I should, he actually told the Chief Justice that maybe I'm going to get married.
Oh, wow.
I
So
was
you can
allowed
actually
to,
go.
to arrange a transfer. I learned of that
Where you
later.
actually going to get married?
No, not at that time. But I learned of it later from,
Yes.
that,
Oh,
that
wow.
there was a whisper to that
Yes, that
effect. But
let it go.
I got my
I'm not
transfer.
gonna complain.
Yeah, I got my transfer. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
We
So
are
basically,
actually arranged a mutual transfer with a colleague.
oh, nice.
Yeah.
So you swapped.
Yeah, we swapped.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's beautiful. So you swap, you've actually caused a fracas or row, where you are actually coming from.
Yeah.
Now you are moving to this new station.
Yeah.
How are you actually received? And at that point, did you actually already have political consciousness?
Let me say that unlike Nakuru, which was then a small station, not a very big one, Nairobi was a big station. So you disappear.
Oh, okay.
There are too many people there.
Yeah.
So nobody notices anybody has come.
Yes.
There are those you know, and you will continue to socialize with them.
Yes.
I only got noticed in Nairobi because I used to ask for more work.
Yes.
They were allocating to junior magistrates like me just 2 cases. And by 11 o'clock, I would be done.
Okay. For the day.
So I'm calling, and I don't want to leave work. I don't want to go home. I'm paid to stay there during the day. So I have that sense of responsibility, which again is the upbringing in the countryside. Even as a young person, you're given responsibility.
Absolutely.
So I ask for more work, and what goes round. So
that if you've got extra cases, she will gladly take.
The word was, this is unusual.
Yes.
People return files. People leave work.
Yes.
This one is asking for work.
Yes.
But eventually it got me early promotion.
Oh, nice.
Because I was doing my work. I was doing it well.
Yes.
And yes, I had political consciousness right from the university. During the days of the university, we would have protests against oppressive government policies. Like I remember one time, an order was given of shoot to kill. And there was a demonstration, and I took part in it at the university, opposing the shoot to kill policy. So I'm coming firsthand in contact with the people standing up to defend human rights. That is the first time I participate. And we are chatting, shoot to kill, no way. You know?
Wow. And that basically, to this day, standing for what is actually just has become what you are actually known for.
The more things change, the more they remain
the same.
We have a beautiful constitution that safeguards the rights of everyone. But a government that is determined not to follow the rule of law. So you hear orders of shoot to kill in this day and age, or shoot them in the leg.
Oh, wow.
So that is the first time I,
you are actually aware that, I'm actually defending the
human rights together with the others.
Wow.
So you see how also interaction at the university, what shall I say, has a bearing on my world view, on notions of social justice, on the responsibility of every citizen to defend human rights. Today, I'm doing the same thing.
You're actually doing the same thing.
Then, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Would you actually again say, the sense of responsibility, the sense of belonging to a community, the sense of sharing whatever you have with everybody, the sense of, knowing that you have a moral duty to actually safeguard each other, basically played a key role in you being able, even at that stage, to just identify with, the people that were basically targets of this shoot to kill, versus probably your peers that were coming maybe from urban areas and they were socialized differently?
Absolutely. Because the shoot to kill order was not targeting the university. It was targeting everyone. And anyone can be a victim.
Yes.
And later on, even before I finished my studies at the university, some of the people from the university were targeted, were victims of the same violence. Because if you're walking in the street and there's a fracas and there's careless use of firearms, it will affect anyone. And yes, growing up with a sense of community makes one more amenable to joining others in a protest against injustice, in a protest against misrule, because you see yourself as part of the whole, part of the community. You don't see yourself as outside of it or belonging to a certain silo. So yes, all those things did contribute to what I do today, to my beliefs, to my worldview.
Oh wow, interesting. You've actually done your transfer now. You are in Nairobi. You are raising your hand. You know, you are doing more, and you are very attuned to the fact that it is, you know, a duty and service to country for you to actually give it your all, right? So then you leave the judiciary, and you move into private practice. Tell us about that transition.
Initially, I wanted to build a career in the judiciary. Remember, that's my childhood dream job.
Was to be a judge.
But after a while, I get a partner, I get married.
Nice.
I have a baby, and I have a second one on the way. And the pay is not enough for me to contribute to my family. So I made a decision, I'll leave and go to private practice. At the same time, I'm having turbulence in that union. So the need to be able to stand on my 2 feet financially is even greater. Those are the circumstances in which I made a decision to leave the judiciary and go to private practice. I was on contract, so I just notified the judiciary 3 months before the end of my second contract that I do not wish to have my contract renewed. And that brought my stint in the judiciary to a close after 6 years.
So now you are actually in private practice, you know, I think circumstantially so, you know, circumstances basically dictated that you need to actually pivot, you know, into private practice. But up until this point, you have basically been, you know, that one person that is defending the vulnerable, defending the marginalized, you know, and those that are targeted by power. You know, now you're sitting on the other side. You know, how then do you actually ensure that you continue, you know, serving your people, especially those that, you know, are basically not given the sort of attention or support or inclusiveness or service that the same constitution advocates for everybody? And at this point, what does upholding the rule of law beyond just what is in black and white, what is in paper, mean to you as now a lawyer that is in private practice?
Well, when you move to the other side of defending people, you're still helping to uphold the rule of law because you are bringing to the attention of the court not just the law, but applying it to facts. The only difference is that you're not the decision maker. But if a decision is made which you believe is contrary to the law, you have recourse because you go on appeal. And I appealed on many instances and was able to be successful. Again, I've moved out of private practice. Therefore, now I can join organizations. Very quickly, I joined the Federation of Women Lawyers, FIDA. We are helping indigent women by giving them legal advice. sometimes appearing in court for them.
Mm-hmm.
We are also enlightening the community generally on rights awareness.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm still doing something
Mm-hmm.
to do with helping the needy.
Mm-hmm.
And because those were years that there was repression under the one-party rule, I get involved in doing pro bono cases,
Oh, wow.
public interest litigation that has implication on many, and especially for people hounded by the Kanu regime of that time on politically motivated cases. So joining practice in 87, by the year 1990, I was defense counsel for Miroge Kariuki in the Koigi Wamwere treason case in Kenya as a young lawyer who was only a few years old in practice. And as they say in my community, when you do good, you do unto yourself.
Yes, yes.
Being in the treason case brought me to prominence.
Nice.
My activism also went to the Law Society itself, defending the independence of the bar. And very soon I vie and I become a leader within the Law Society. That again increases my national prominence. So by the time the country returns to multi-party democracy in December of 1991, I'm a household name.
Oh, wow.
So my decision then to vie for parliament is aided by my activism, because that's what has thrust me on the national
into the spotlight
stage.
Yeah. So, you know, you are actually rising and rising and rising. You know, whenever I talk to women, especially in an African context, they always talk about a price to pay for being that woman that dares challenges the system, or that dares basically speak truth to power, or even, you know, challenge man, if we could even call it that. Because if you look at that time, I think predominantly, you know, the spaces we were operating in were male dominated, you know. So what would you actually say was the other end, you know, of the stick?
Let me tell you that as an activist, defending the independence of the bar, active within the Law Society, you can call it politics, I was a target of the regime. There's a time they attempted to abduct me.
Oh, wow.
I didn't know, but there were 2 vehicles following me for 2 days.
What?
We only got to know because they got arrested.
Yes.
When they waited for me in a restaurant where we were having a meeting with my colleague advocates. The next morning is when a client of mine came and told me that her husband had been hired by police and they had been following me for 2 days.
Oh, wow.
And how she got to know is because when they got arrested with the police who had hired him, he slept in the cells. So when he goes home, he's telling the wife of the ordeal, and they were following this lawyer called Martha Karua.
Oh, wow.
And those days I was called Martha Njoka.
Yes.
So the wife says, but that's my lawyer, you know?
Oh, wow.
So she realizes I'm in danger and she lets me know.
She alerts you.
So I was a target of the Kanu regime then. I was a target of the police.
Oh, wow.
One time I'm going to the treason case. They barricaded the court and the police are blocking the court entrance. And I hear them tell each other, this is Martha Njoka, she's hard-headed. Don't let her come in.
Oh, wow.
I literally had to hit them with my clipboard, which shocked them, and they stood aside and I passed.
I love that.
You know, surprise attack. Because I needed to go in and represent my clients.
Yes.
And as a lawyer, I have a right to be on the court corridor.
Absolutely.
So sometimes you have to do the extraordinary.
You have to think on your feet.
So, yes, there's a price to pay, including being isolated. Even later, when I'm a member of parliament, as a minister, I had to resign on principle.
I remember, yeah.
Because they want you to do things you don't believe in.
Yes.
And when you stand your ground, you hear behind your back, what does this woman want? You know,
it's actually quite funny you say that, because you know, when you're a woman, you actually are expected to toe the line, to know your place. And I think in your case, you know, some of the references that they've actually publicly used is the Iron Lady of Kenya. And, you know, one of the things that just following your journey and following everything that you have actually been doing, I actually feel you have won that with pride. It's like, you know, if that's what you want to actually label me, so be it. But our people need me, and our people are not actually going to, you know, be let down just because you are actually trying to break me. You know, how do you actually at the end of the day go back home and after all of these experiences and actually say, tomorrow I wake up and I do it again, and the next day I wake up and I do it again, and I do it again and again and again? Because at some point people are expecting you to do the expected, which is basically throw in the towel and basically know your place, sit in a corner, get your cushy salary or your nice packs and mind your own business.
My place is exactly where I'm supposed to be as a professional, doing what makes me comfortable and what I believe in. I wasn't raised to be told that my place is to do the bidding of others, is to stand up for my rights.
I love that.
My grandmother, Patano, who never went to school, I call her a graduate of the social school, taught me to stand for my rights. Same with my mother, my father. The things they do, because you are taught through instruction and interaction. My interaction with them made me who I am. I stand for what I believe is right. And it doesn't matter what names you call me. I always laugh and say, because there are people who think that being called Iron Lady is a compliment. Then I ask, but where is the Iron Man? If a man is firm, if a man can stand their ground, that for them is normal. That's a strong leader. But when a woman does that, you get names. You're either hard-headed, you are all the adjectives
sorts of names,
they could get. So it's a way of calling you unusual. But I don't agree with that, because the way I've seen my mother, women around where I grew up, and even today in society, women have immeasurable strength.
Absolutely.
Even that woman who is not vocal, who may not find her voice to say what she thinks, raising children, and most of women are raising children in abject poverty.
Absolutely.
But raising children who later become leaders, productive people in society, it requires strength.
Absolutely.
So strength belongs to women.
I think,
and if we acknowledged that, measuring with our mothers and women around us, we would not call strong women iron women. We would just call them strong leaders.
Absolutely. And for me, one of the things that I always say is, we are all born of women. So if it wasn't for a woman, both men and women wouldn't actually be here. We are here because we were nurtured by women. We were actually taught by women. So the very same men that see an Iron Lady, you know, is, you know, ironically a same man who would say, I am the product of my mother. Yet they would actually go out there and forget
Thank you
that
so
it is
much
their
for
mother.
that. Because all the leaders in this world have
Yes.
been
Born of a
brought
woman.
up, have been taught. Their first teacher is either their mother or the woman, the nanny raising them.
Absolutely.
So if we acknowledged that in everything we do, we'll acknowledge strength belongs to women.
Absolutely.
And the role women play in society.
Society would be a better place.
Yeah.
You were very instrumental, in the fight for democratic reforms in your country. And one would actually say that is actually such a noble thing. But also democratic reforms at the time were basically like winds of change that were blowing across the continent. So the whole of Africa, each country was basically experiencing, its own ushering of change, for the better, for inclusiveness and for the participation of everybody. But one of the things that continues to be a question that lingers on even today is that the leaders that were actually fighting for Africa's emancipation, Africa's inclusiveness, Africa's the reimagining of Africa, from colonialism to an Africa that basically, resembles the demographics of Africans themselves and the voices of Africans themselves, and is actually ruled by systems that basically speak to what the people want, is a role that sometimes goes unnoticed, or at most, I think, not honored by this generation. It is a role that is kept in history books, and as they say, if you want to hide something, from our people, just put it in a book. We are not very much well versed with going back to finding out how did we get here. We didn't just wake up and everything was suddenly better, What would you say, to younger Africans who are basically inheriting the freedoms that the likes of yourselves actually fought for, and they did not have to fight for directly? What would you actually say to encourage them to be very present in shaping, the Kenya that they want to see, and also in honoring, the women that have actually quietly, vocally played, a part in creating a better Africa, a better Kenya for them?
That's a very important question. And it reminds me, yes, we fought to have a democratic society. We fought for a constitution, our constitution promulgated in 2010, which entrenches our God-given rights. But so did our forefathers and mothers fight for independence from colonial domination. When I look at Kenya today and see how we are sliding back to the dark days in spite of having a very good constitution. When I look around Africa, most of our countries having constitutions, but not following constitutionalism. I would say to the young people that the youth of every generation have their work cut out. Improving our countries is an ongoing job. It's an unfinished business. And every generation has to rise up to the occasion. And we saw our youth, our Gen Z, rise up in the protest of 2024 and the recurring protests of commemoration, which recurred in 2025 and which I know will recur this year. When I look around Africa, the rate of unemployment, especially among the youth, and the youth are a majority in our continent, I would tell them, learn your history and take up your position. And do not wait for us, as your elders, to give you space at the table. Come, grab your space. Because power is taken, it's never given. And I'm glad that youth in Africa are increasingly taking up their space. Because we have unfinished business. And it is the youth that will help Africa reimagine and re-engineer itself. We are a very rich continent. A majority of our people are poor. It's a contradiction.
Yeah, we are
How
a rich,
can we
poor
be
continent.
so rich in natural resources, which are going out to be processed outside to benefit others and to leave us in abject poverty, in lives of indignity? It is our youth
who can change the narrative.
Other people of goodwill who will change this narrative by ensuring that we have value-based leaders, ensuring that we have accountable governments, which reminds me that the youth in Kenya, the number one demand in their protests was transparency and accountability. In other words, good governance. It is the youth that will rescue our nations. And we, the older generation, who still have strength to fight on, must join the youth to liberate this continent. And I'm glad I had a political party recently rebranded with the name People's Liberation Party. We're building a liberation movement to liberate Kenya and to liberate Africa, because the peoples of all countries are on a journey to liberate themselves.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Parliament, public office and governance. You were elected member of parliament for Gichugu in 1992 and went on to serve for roughly 2 decades. You later became a cabinet minister for water and irrigation, and then minister for justice and constitutional affairs. You became prominent as one of the country's most public figures associated with constitution, governance, and accountability. What prompted your decision to go from advocacy to elective politics?
Let me say that as a leader within the Law Society, I realized, like most of my colleagues, that you do not practice your profession in a vacuum. It's within a socio-economic political context. And that the politics of the day determines the environment you operate in, even as a professional. So it started with us as young lawyers fighting for independence of the bar because the state wanted to encroach. And it spilled to us demanding more openness and transparency from the government and upholding of democratic traditions. We also demanded a return to political pluralism. So by the time pluralism came, like I said before, I was already a household name. And we were telling women to come up and offer themselves. And I listened to myself and I wondered internally, which women am I telling to come out if it's not me, women like me?
Yes.
And I went, I decided to run. But when I remember backwards, I had jokingly told a colleague when I was in secondary school that one day I'll be a member of parliament.
Yes.
So it's something that was at the back of my mind.
Yes.
So an opportunity came and I ran, and the rest is history. And I ran with a desire to transform my country. It is an unfinished business. So I'll be running now for president.
Yes.
Because
in 2027.
Like to finish the unfinished business. But like I've said, nobody and no generation will ever finish the work of improving our nations and our continent. It's an ongoing business, always a work in progress. Yeah.
So, congratulations for actually putting up your hand to say you would like to be the first woman president for Kenya. I look at women presidential candidates across Africa. They are less than 5%, across the board. That actually speaks to just how difficult it is to get to that point, to that, level of, I would basically say, active politics, because I think if you look at how history has actually evolved, women are starting to actually be represented at different levels, but just not at the highest level.
Yeah.
So what is it that you are promising your people, as your next level of service to them? Because there's no doubt they know you have actually been of service. They know you have actually stood for, their interests, protecting their rights, and protecting their rights, even extending to, speaking truth to power, demanding accountability, and demanding service to the people.
Yeah.
You have demonstrated this, in how you've carried yourself throughout your career. But as you would know, elections are elections because there is an overarching message that you are giving to the people. There is your promise to them, but then a call to action to, the people of Kenya as well. Because it is not just about you saying, this is what I'll do for you. Alone you wouldn't, but together you can. And, one would wonder, what is your call to action to Kenyans? And what is it that you want Kenyans to keep top of mind as they basically look at the leader that will take them to the next level of building a better, a stronger, and a more inclusive economy?
I think a majority of Kenyans are in pain. Pain inflicted by the current government, where access to health services has almost been obliterated, where access to education for their children has gone down, where services, critical services, infrastructure, security are in a bad state. They want transformation. And we are telling them in the Liberation Party that come join the liberation movement. We are here to transform Kenya, but we cannot do it alone. We need you. This is a community project. Come join us. Let us liberate ourselves. We liberated ourselves from colonialists. We now need to liberate ourselves economically and to bring in good governance, because the state has been hijacked by a clique who have converted it to a vehicle for self-aggrandizement. So we are promising them a government whose foundation will be the rule of law, a government that will follow our constitution as the manual for operating a corporation known as Kenya. Because Kenya should be run as a going concern. Our constitution has a chapter on how to apply public finances, a chapter on leadership and integrity, Article 10 on our values, national values. If we follow the dictates of our constitution, which is the aspirations of the nation codified, then we will be able to have a nation where the rights of everyone, the lowest and the mighty, are protected, and where we enjoy quality services, critical services that support the right to life. So we are promising them a government that is governed by integrity. And that is people-centered, which is what is lacking. The problem in Kenya today is not the resources, human or otherwise. It is a crisis of leadership, leadership that can be trusted, leadership that is value-based. That is what we promise them. And we say the long record of the party and of me as a leader will show them that these are values we have stood for throughout.
So I think young people would actually argue, or even maybe not just young people, but the electorate would actually argue that every leader, when they want to come into office, they basically say, this is what's not working, and this is what I will make work. But also, every leader, when they come into office, they have the energy to implement, but something, I don't know what, once they get in there, diminishes that energy, and suddenly they want to basically stay there forever. And this becomes a problem, because young people are saying, we want leaders who will come, implement, and go. So President Martha Karua basically wins the elections. How many terms does she serve?
A single term. Although the Constitution allows 2 terms, should you be re-elected, I would not seek office a second term. The reason is simple. We are in a continent and in a country where leaders are behaving as if being elected is a title deed, which you wave on the faces of the electorate and say, I got this for 5 years, where you do not have to be accountable. I think in that sort of situation, we need to show people that power is transient, and there's no better way than seeking a single term, because nobody will ever finish the agenda of developing a country. My 5 years, I would lay the foundation for somebody else to come and continue with. When we hold the view that only you can do it, those are the seeds that later translate to wanting to be there forever. Secondly, when a country is messed up, when the governance is so broken, as in Kenya, to correct it, you will need to step on toes without thinking of a re-election, with a single-mindedness of a cleanup that lays a foundation for a healthy nation. And those are the reasons why I would want a single term to lay a foundation for a country governed through the rule of law, to correct, to try and fix the broken system, and then leave somebody else to come and do the rest. And you are asking, you said that every leader, and it's true, promises and says they'll do what the electorate wants to hear. For me, consistency has been my currency. And every place I've been put in charge, I've delivered. I delivered water sector reforms as Minister for Water. Reforms that endure today. Reforms that were successful to the extent of being replicated by 2 other ministries, Ministry of Energy and Ministry of Roads. Those reforms endure up today and are cited. In the ministry, and also improving governance in the Ministry of Water tremendously. In the Ministry of Justice, my greatest achievement, I would say, is helping put a framework, being a team leader. when we did the framework that helped to finish the Constitution of Kenya 2010, a review that had been unsuccessful for over 2 decades. And even though I resigned before the Constitution was fully
adopted,
made, I was a backbencher in Parliament, and I continued serving in the parliamentary committee dealing with the review of the Constitution. And I therefore continued in the crafting of the new Constitution and in campaigning for its adoption. So that would be my greatest achievement. And also in the same ministry, being the lead negotiator when there was the post-election violence, leading the government troops in the negotiations of the accord, which again is a record to show that I can work in crisis. Yes. So I think, I keep saying, we have a saying in my mother tongue that you know an animal, you identify an animal by the sound it makes and by the manner in which it walks. You have to combine the two to be accurate.
Yes.
The sound alone can deceive you.
That's very true.
So you combine the two. I am applying it and telling fellow Kenyans, and I'll tell fellow Africans, identify a leader by what they say,
what they
but
do.
most importantly, their track record.
Absolutely.
You will see footprints of what's in their DNA. If you've been part of corruption, you cannot promise people that you rid the country of corruption and bring good governance. If you've been grabbing people's land, if you've been disobeying the law, even as a leader, violating both the law and the Constitution, you cannot return the country to the rule of law. So identify my DNA from what I say and from what I do.
Wow, that is actually quite profound. You know, sometimes they say give a job to a woman and it will be done. One of the things that being on the campaign trail actually does is put leaders in a marathon of basically crisscrossing the country and, you know, focusing inwardly. And in the process, they completely forget that there is a whole constituency of people that are in the diaspora. What is your message to your electorate that is in the diaspora? Because these are people that come from Kenya, have basically experienced so much out there and are of value to any country, you know, globally, because of the experience that they have. Yet in most instances, when people are in the diaspora, they feel so out of touch simply because they feel the leaders forget about them. They never address them. They actually address the local people. Yet I think in really advocating and agitating for inclusivity and a better life for all, they are actually part of that collective, and they actually want to contribute in some instances. What would be your message to Kenyans in the diaspora?
Firstly, that they're welcome to join the People's Liberation Party. And they can check us out at plpkenya.com. And already we have many diaspora members of the party, and we consider diaspora as part of us. In Kenya, diaspora are the greatest foreign exchange earners for the country by their remittances. They actively contribute to the economic health of the nation. They also pay a price for the failure in leadership. When health fails, their relatives will be crying out to them. They subsidize the failed health services by remitting money to their relatives. They subsidize the failed education system. So they're very much part and parcel of the development of Kenya. I would tell them, PLP recognizes you as an integral part of Kenya, and that PLP will ensure that there is a diaspora member in its government to help shape diaspora policy and interventions, and that your talent is welcome home. You're part of our riches, our human resources, and we would want to tap into your talents alongside your brothers and sisters in Kenya to develop our nation. The doors are open. Yes.
So the diaspora takes an interest.
Yeah.
They want to come back and work and build with you.
Yeah.
Most of them are professionals, you know, in various career fields that are critical to the development of any country. They look at your growth playbook or your strategy for Kenya.
Yeah.
They basically say, a lot needs to be done. So much needs to be done. And they turn around and they say, we don't believe you can actually deliver impact in 5 years, simply because of the fixing before creating the foundation, before taking off to a greater Kenya that needs to be done. What then?
Firstly, don't alienate yourself by saying it can't be done and standing as an onlooker. Come closer, let's do it together. Contribute thoughts. And I'll boldly say, I was in the Mwai Kibaki government that came in 2002. The greatest impact of the Kibaki 10 years was in the first 5 years. From that, and from my personal experience in the water sector reforms, which I delivered in 3 years only, nationwide. And my work in the constitutional docket for only 2.5 years, 3 years actually, because I spent 1 year of the second term. I was in government for 6.5 years. I say confidently, allow me to be the team leader in Kenya for 5 years.
That's all you're asking for.
It's sufficient to bring back the country to the rule of law, to ensure we unclog the wheels of justice, to get all the systems running. And the institutions of governance that really need transformation, the executive, the judiciary, and parliament. And the agencies that are part and parcel of the justice system. It is possible to do it. And you don't do it alone as a leader.
Yes.
You're just a team leader.
You basically
you
create
must identify
an enabling
talent
environment
and work with everybody else. It is absolutely possible.
As a woman, women are actually in the majority.
Yeah.
Women are the ones that vote men into power. Women have a very powerful, impact on the final decision of the outcome of the elections.
Yeah.
What is your message to women?
My message to the women, it's time to rally together. The skills that we possess that manage our homes, the skills that help our countries to stand, because you check almost every sector, whether it's agriculture, whether it is the teaching profession, medical, you will find that women are the prime movers. Let's believe in ourselves. We have the necessary skills to manage a country.
So you are
and
saying...
vote for me. Love yourself enough to believe, not just in yourself, but in a fellow woman when she's capable. And I'm so glad. There's so many women stepping up in Kenya today, running for all the positions except the presidency. There's only me so far.
You are actually running for that one?
Yes, but I'm saying there are many in the other positions.
Yes.
Except the presidency where I'm alone. But you never know. towards the end, there may be others. I am saying, vote for capable women. Whenever you have a capable woman, a capable man, vote for the woman first. Let's increase our numbers. It is our skills that are missing to help our countries and our continent. So support me to transform Kenya.
And earlier on, you actually touched on the youth.
Yes.
You know, you spoke about their energy,
Yeah.
their ability to agitate.
And to innovate.
And to innovate.
Yeah.
You know, I was just going to say, it's all well and good for them to agitate, but we need to rechannel that energy.
Yeah.
And young people are basically saying, across Africa, you know, when leaders want somebody to agitate, we are the go-to people, you know. But when leaders are selecting their cabinet, they are selecting people in positions of power, suddenly we don't exist. And to the young people of Kenya, who are basically sitting and saying, just as women are very capable and we want our mothers to be in power, our mothers have sent us to school, our mothers have basically given us their hard-earned resources to groom us to be equal to the task. Can we actually be given a chance to be part of a diverse team in the government that Martha Karua SC would actually be putting together? Is there a place for young people?
Absolutely.
Because young people are saying, you have made us who we are. They are very educated, very talented, but they can't be young forever. They need to be given responsibility.
I've said absolutely. They have space at the table. My Secretary General in the People's Liberation Party is a youthful woman of 33 years.
Wow. That's
I
commendable.
have other people in the National Executive Committee who are youth. And when I say youth, it's under 35. And I myself entered Parliament as a youth at 35. I'm inviting them to come, help us build. They'll be part and parcel of the government. We are an inclusive party. We see talent, we spot talent with the youth, with women, with people with disability, with everybody. We are a family. Come join us.
And I think just lastly on the electorate, before I actually just touch on unity and collaboration amongst opposition parties, on the electorate, often, again, we have the people that are differently abled, whom we have, you know, stigmatized to say disabled, but they're really differently abled. You know, they've got talents, you know. What is their place, their role, their contribution to building a better Kenya should Martha Karua SC ascend to office?
The promise is that they will too be at the table, and they already are at the table in the leadership of the People's Liberation Party. We recognize everybody's ability. We are not all endowed with the same abilities. We put those together. It's like a jigsaw puzzle. You get the whole. We are a family, and everybody has a place. Yeah.
Thank you so much. I think just, you know, wrapping up on the political front, and now I really want us to touch on your unputdownable book, you know, because it's really a book for kips. The last question would be, we basically see political parties wanting to compete against each other. So you would have so many little parties and you look and you're like, guys, you know, is it that difficult? Are you not able to come together and actually form a stronger, you know, unit than to continuously compete? And as a result, you find this party has 2%, this one has 3%, that one has 10%. And historically, the liberation movements or the parties that have been there for the longest time become the dominant parties. And every other party basically becomes an opposition. So my question to you is, how open, is the PLP to actually working with other opposition parties for the broader good of Kenya? Because ultimately, all parties have one common objective, which is actually to make a better Kenya for everybody, to create a better life for Kenyans in Kenya. Yet, all parties in most instances are basically pulling in different directions and end up saying, I am better than that one. And it basically becomes a beauty contest such that the voters or the electorate are just left confused.
That's a very good question you've asked. And in Kenya, we, the opposition, have built what we are calling the united opposition or alternative government. It doesn't comprise everybody who wants to be president, but we are so far 7 political parties, and we are open to other parties joining us. We have a commitment that we shall field only one presidential candidate. We are in the process of signing a commitment pledge and having structures and a methodology on how to arrive at the single candidate. It may be necessary to even consider fielding a single candidate for all the 6 elections in Kenya. But it is true, we have realized that having too many presidential candidates gives the incumbent the opportunity to,
just
sail
walk
through,
into office.
to just sail through. And since we are all agreeing that Kenyans are under pain and they need transformation, we must love our country more than our ambitions. And we should be ready to sacrifice ambition and support a single presidential candidate. So at the time, what we are doing and what I'm doing as a party leader and a person interested in being president is working hard to put myself out there to the electorate as that deserving single presidential candidate. But in the event that I'm not the one, I will support the united opposition candidate because we must place ambition behind the interests of the majority.
So just talking about the road to presidency, this is actually your 2nd time around. In 2013, you campaigned.
I ran.
You ran for presidency and you came out number 6.
Yeah.
What are some of the lessons that you actually have learned then and are bringing into this particular campaign? And, what is it that gives you that conviction that the ground is now fertile for a straight win?
One, since 2013, a lot of things have changed. I've ran for governor in 2017 of my home county. And I believe I won.
And you challenged those results?
I challenged those results.
And you won?
And I also challenged the results of the Kenyan case because I was not successful in the Kenyan courts. But I took my dispute to the East Africa Legislative Assembly, and they found the court in Kenya failed to give me justice. I will not go into details.
Yes.
I ran as a running mate to Raila Odinga in 2022.
Yeah.
And I believe we won. And victory was taken away from us. And you remember we had protests.
I remember.
Leading to that. So it is a broken system, electoral system that we have in Kenya. But we have ways of overcoming those difficulties so long as there is unity of purpose, there is an overwhelming vote for the opposition candidate and for all the other candidates. But as far as Martha Karua is concerned, I believe the fact that I sailed through as the running mate of Raila Odinga, because even that was subjected to a contest, not a popular vote, but there was polling and there were interviews. But I do believe that what carried the weight was the polls, the readiness of Kenyans for me to be in that position. The polling today in Kenya is showing, it's not specific to a candidate, but 70% of Kenyans are open to having a female candidate. So I believe that I'll be able to convince Kenyans that I am the candidate that will get the country back on track.
We are a continent that has a sense of urgency in terms of where to from here. Everybody's saying integrity is quite critical to, you know, the Africa that we would like to see. What concerns you most about the current trajectory of politics on the continent? What gives you hope? And what must Africa get right if it is truly going to rewrite its narrative?
I think Africa, like most of the world, is facing a crisis of leadership in most of our countries. We have seen leaders who are ready to burn the countries down for them to remain in power. And we are seeing bad governance in quite a sizable number of countries in the continent. And we have seen elections reduced to a ritual. I was trying to count the number of countries in Africa that I know of that have free and fair elections. Led by South Africa, I was able to get just about 7.
Wow.
They may be maybe more than that. They could be up to 10, but the ones I could think of head was just about 7. And most of them were in SADC.
Wow.
Because there is South Africa, there is Namibia, there is Malawi, there is Botswana. Ghana is in West Africa, but it's one of those good examples. Seychelles, Cape Verde. There may be others, but Africa has abandoned elections. It's just a ritual. So we are suffering a crisis of leadership, a deficit of trust in leaders, and a deviation from the state working for the people to the state working for a ruling elite. We have seen plunder of resources when a majority are suffering in abject poverty, when some are starving. We have seen civil war brought by disagreements about leadership and about also people refusing to leave power. We have disagreements and civil war in the Sudan. We have South Sudan, which is also fairly unstable. We have the Congo. And we even saw Ethiopia going into civil war for a little bit. And whenever a country goes into civil war, the wounds never heal immediately. Absolutely. It's a long process.
It takes generations.
And we have seen upheavals. Look at Kenya, look at Tanzania. And the number of people killed, massacred by their own government during elections. Look at Uganda. We are a continent in crisis, not to mention Zimbabwe and Nigeria and others. I really think that this continent needs rescue. And I would say to the young people, like I said, that every generation has its work cut out. And to the people of Africa, we are blessed with natural resources, with riches God gave us. We are blessed with human resources. Africa's professionals are powering the world. They are in the Americas. They are in Europe. And in Africa, we have our professionals circulating in our countries. We need to do something for Mother Africa. We need that commitment. We have leadership in Africa that has led the world. Many of us were excited to see President Cyril Ramaphosa and South Africa lead the world to condemn the atrocities in Palestine. I actually tweeted saying he spoke for us, for Africa, because most of our leaders were not bold enough. And it reminded us of the days of Nelson Mandela, the great, shall I say, when he refused, after he came out of jail, to let the powerful nations choose his friends or the friends of South Africa.
Absolutely.
He was very firm that Yasser Arafat of Palestine was his friend because of standing with him, with South Africa during the days of apartheid. So the work of Cyril Ramaphosa in standing up, and that is South Africa as a country, standing up even in the wake of the arrest of President Maduro by American president is admirable. But recently when there was a massacre of the people of Tanzania on the 29th of October last year during the elections, some of us expected that South Africa, as the chair of SADC, would come out strongly and tell Tanzania, these are not the values of SADC. Maybe they did behind the scenes, but we wished it could have been public because then it would help SADC maintain standards, and SADC can also pull up Africa. Maybe we look up to South Africa as a big brother. We had hoped that the SADC countries, Malawi, Namibia, Botswana, Ian Khama, the former president, didn't speak out very strongly. We expected that there are countries in SADC, especially countries where elections have been free and fair, the presidents have mentioned. We expected them to come together and help Tanzania go back to the values that SADC upholds, to the values that Africa upholds in the African Charter on Human and People's Rights. We do hope that one day the African presidents will use their agency to help Mother Africa. And I want to pay tribute to the former president of Ghana, John Kufuor. When Kenya had post-election violence, he was the chair of AU. But there was no AU meeting or resolution regarding Kenya. But he used his agency as a sitting president, as the chair of AU, to travel to Kenya. I was a minister then. He talked to President Mwai Kibaki and to the late Raila Odinga, got them to agree to a negotiated settlement, made sure that they agreed on mediators. And that's how Kofi Annan led committee, which had Kofi Annan, former President Mkapa, and Gracia Machel, who came and helped Kenya out of the crisis. So the actions of one man using his agency as a sitting president, as the chair of AU, chair of the President's Summit, he saved Kenya. I do hope that the sitting presidents, and especially those from the SADC region, could use their agency to save Mother Africa from the problems we are having. That the friendship between the presidents is not greater than the need to save the masses of Africa. And I do hope they could pull each other up in good governance. Because Agenda 2063, which is an AU agenda, the African Charter on Human and People's Rights, is a charter that should be guiding Africa to prosperity. I really do hope that one day the agencies under the African Union, the African Commission on Human and People's Rights, will stand up and call out countries that are violating the charter, not just by a resolution, but by boldly stating this is contrary to the charter. The worst that can happen to them is that their presidents may recall them and they may lose their jobs in the commission. But why not do the Lord's work even if you lose your job? Africa needs its professionals, its citizens, its presidents to stand up for it.
So just in sort of wrapping up on this section, because you are actually sharing something that's very, very profound. You are saying President Ramaphosa and your other peers on the continent that basically have stood against injustices around the world. Do not forget that you have a moral and social duty to do the same in your own continent, in your own backyard, and that is your ask of them.
In fact, I'm appealing to them. Stand up for the continent. Stand by the African Charter on Human and People's Rights. Stand on the ideals of SADC. Wherever you are, if you're in East Africa, stand by the ideals of East Africa. But we have more hope in the presidents I have mentioned. We have more hope on President Cyril Ramaphosa because he has used his agency positively before. That's why we tell him, sir, remember the continent.
So, after such a very full and public life, there comes a point when telling your own story becomes an act of leadership too. Because if you do not narrate your journey, someone else will narrate it for you. Against the Tide. Memory and legacy in Against the Tide, your journey. It basically tells your story the best way you know how. Why was it important for you to write this book now? What truth did you want to reclaim or preserve through the book? Was the writing process emotional? And in writing the book, you're actually revisiting so many memories, good and bad, betrayals, wins, losses. What can you actually tell us about the book and what it actually means to you? And it's a very beautiful cover too.
Thank you.
I hope our viewers are definitely going to get a copy because I actually have my copy, not just my copy, but copies for the people that matter to me, because this is not just a story, but it's the history. It's actually history in the making. So
thank you very much. Yes. This book, Against the Tide, Labor of Love, I wrote it over a very long period, almost 9 years.
Oh, wow.
Because I started by getting a ghostwriter. The manuscript that they did not resonate. A second ghostwriter, the same thing. Then I decided I'll write, but I needed somebody to help me a little bit. And then I was now able to sit down and go chapter by chapter and make sure that it's my book, it's my story. I began by telling you that my paternal grandmother had a very huge impact on me as I grew up. And she was a storyteller, like most African grandparents and parents. And what basically I'm doing in this book I'm adopting her methods. I'm telling my story. But now, because we are in a global village, you don't tell your story just by the fireside.
Absolutely.
You put it into pen and paper. You put it in a book so that your story can be told to many. That's exactly what I did.
Oh, wow.
By putting my story together, it doesn't mean that everything I've done will be good for you. I'm just sharing. There are things you may pick. There are things you will avoid. But through sharing, we enrich each other. So just like I've read other people's biographies, I've put mine out there to be read. It's a memoir.
Yes.
Because it's not the entire story.
Absolutely.
It's a memoir. I've put mine out there in the spirit of sharing. And if I'm able, I'll still write another one.
Oh, wow.
Covering a different period.
Wow.
Yeah, so it's the labor of love.
So in the book,
Yeah.
what is it that people will get to know about Martha that is not chronicled in your public profile working life? What side of Martha actually comes out in the book that, you know, what we see in the media doesn't actually bring out?
That is for the readers to say, but I'll say this of a public figure, people in public life. The media portrays of you that part of you that is of interest to them at that particular time.
Absolutely.
So if we sat here just laughing for most of the day, then the last 10 minutes we fight. The media may report only the fight.
Absolutely.
And just devote a sentence that they had been cordial and laughing the whole day, but they will not devote any time to any other thing
Other than
except
the
the fight.
No, absolutely, that's
so
correct.
the media shows you the part they want to see. And for me, the media has only portrayed me during hard tuckles.
Absolutely.
My life, especially as a politician, the part that there are disagreements, there is negotiations or tough talking on this or that topic. Fight against corruption.
Yes.
Standing up for women's rights, standing up for human rights. So the side of me as a human being, a citizen who experiences sort of the same things everybody does, it's not known.
Absolutely.
So you hear people saying, Martha doesn't laugh. If they knew how I love a good laugh.
If they knew how much we laughed yesterday.
So you see, so this book is me.
Yes.
From my perspective.
Absolutely.
It's my story.
Yes. So as the African proverb goes, if the lion doesn't learn to ride, the story will always favor the hunter. And I think really that means we need to actually take ownership of our own stories. We need to leave a track record of who we are from our perspective. Because I think, to your point, you know, it is about correcting, you know, narratives that are actually one-sided, narratives that are actually biased, and in most instances, narratives that have an ulterior motive, you know, to them. So thank you so much for giving us a gift. The book is actually a gift of love to Africa, because as women that look up to you, as younger women, we absolutely need to make sure that we not only learn from your life, but your life actually becomes the candle that lights our candles. And through you, we can believe that it is possible, because you have actually done it before us. You know, all the struggles, all the commitment that you've given to Africa, the journey that you have actually traversed, you know, with all its challenges. And look at you today, you are actually here smiling and telling your story. It's actually a testament that it was all worth it. It is all worth it. And even for us, we need to actually commit and give back to the continent, because history will actually judge us harshly. if we do not do that, we would not have actually done service to our forefathers and those that actually walked the journey before us. So I just really think, in closing, we're going to have this fun, quick answer questions. So the one lesson that leadership has taught you?
That never believe that other people will have your back. So go there knowing that you may have to stand alone.
One word that describes your journey?
Shall I say interesting?
One hope you carry for Kenya?
Liberation.
One hope you carry for Africa?
Liberation. Because both Kenya and Africa, we need liberation.
One thing that you always need to travel with?
One thing I always need to travel with?
Yeah.
What is that one thing? The phone is a new invention. So I don't want to say the phone. One thing that I have always to travel with, maybe my pass. Because the phone is a new invention. Yeah. And I don't want to lie that I always travel with a book.
No, that is so true.
I don't.
I know. I mean, for me, it's lipstick. If I don't have lipstick, I'm like, I don't know. There's just something about lipstick that gives me balance.
The past will give me all those things.
I love that. I love that.
Yes.
And then just lastly, you know, how do you unwind?
Dancing, walking, swimming, or just sitting down and having a fun conversation.
Yeah. Wow, beautiful. Yeah. Honourable Martha Karua, SC, presidential candidate for the 2027 national elections in Kenya. I don't know how to thank you. I honestly don't know how to thank you. You have not only made our day, but I think you have enlightened us. You have reignited the fire, you know, the fire to be true to our roots, to be true to our Africanism and who we are. And I just want to say thank you. Thank you so much for your selflessness, for your availability, and most importantly, I think for being able to stand, you know, for truth at all times.
Allow me to thank you also for having me and for having this podcast that is doing incredible work of telling the African story.